after 2 months of incredible labor and fatigue, I succeeded in discovering the cause of generation in life. More, I became capable of bestowing animation upon lifeless matter. So astonishing is this power placed in my hands, I can hardly slow the thoughts of creating another being. Indeed, I now possess the capacity to achieve animation, yet to prepare a frame for the reception of it. I shall bestow life in a creature as marvelous and complex as man.
I have traveled the world with a singular determination to extinguish that which has wronged me so totally and completely. In my task, I've endured every want of comfort. Fate could have scarcely designed a more miserable destiny. Alas, has there ever been a wretch such as I myself? One who has suffered such unparalleled misfortune? One who has been so utterly struck from the possibilities of a less than extraordinary existence? There are cursed powers and occurrences that you have adapted to believe impossible. But I do not doubt that my story conveys in its series of internal evidences the truth of this matter. Once you hear my story and see how I came to be, you will see how I was damned and how it was irreversibly determined.
Now, to add catalyst number 14. Good Lord!
You should hide me. Oh, what is that smoke and that smell? It's horrid.
It was my experiment. Really, Elizabeth, what are you about?
Elizabeth, Justine. Oh. I'm hiding from dear William.
Haven't we outgrown such games?
Where's your childlike wonder? It wasn't long ago that you were our ringleader.
That was before. Now I have work to do.
Elizabeth is the monster. Fine. You and Justine go hide now.
Inquiry number 15.
Good heavens, Victor. I should think that there is more to life than experimentations and philosophical inquiries. We should go to the lake today. Albertus madness. The alterations perceptible in these organic compounds attained at least... Ugh, where's the poetry? The imagination. You really prefer this over Appian.
I prefer Lucan over Appian, just as I prefer substantiality over speculation.
Substantiality? Well, how convenient that all of the mysteries of nature and the universe are solely defined by human terms and perceived only by human sensation. All of natural philosophy owes its origin to the imagination.
But we must, I think, move beyond committing ourselves to fictitious chimeras and attach to something more important. My dreams are undisturbed by reality. But I delight in investigating the facts of the actual world. With the right methodologies, man might obtain the philosopher's stone, or even the elixir of life.
A chimera, if I've ever heard of one. And you can cease with your arrogance, cousin. I, too, possess hopes and dreams of as much distinguished variety as you. Life is wonderful in its simplicity. Its brevity suited enough to allow for love and feelings. Imagination. Need we aspire to more than perfect tranquility?
My apologies. I have nothing bestowed upon me or anything that would otherwise give me preeminence over you.
That's the first tangible thing you've said all day.
But my studies could allow me something with which wealth and power were inferior objects. But what glory would attend the discovery if I were to banish disease from the human frame and render man invulnerable to any but a violent death?
You speak of your father.
Our father, as much yours as mine.
Such beautiful dreams you have, but should such things occupy the entirety of a young man's mind? You seek to discover the secrets of the world, which God may not wish us to know. To me, it is vacancy which we can people with imaginations of our own.
Our own?
Oh, there are many creative books that should delight a man's interest. St. George, Orlando, Robin Hood? You love Robin Hood. Well, I suppose I make a poor philosopher.
You may not interest yourself in the studies of the natural sciences, but my readings of Pliny and Virgil are continuous.
And when you last said that, you cannot recite a single hexameter from Virgil. You can stop trying to impress me, sir.
Hear now, greedy prince, 'tis I, Robin Hood, and my band of men. Oh ho. Made merry.
'Tis I, the Sheriff of Nottingham.
Alas.
Oh, there you are. Oh, what is that stench? I shall have Justine open every window in this house. Where are William and Justine?
Oh, dear, they're hiding. I'm the monster at large.
Will you please find them? Inform them it's time for William's lunch.
Of course.
Why can't you quit these experiments that continuously put our lives and our breathing at risk? At least until you leave for Ingolstadt. You have doubts still about going? Things are more than in order here, and your father sincerely wished to see you study abroad, as any studious young man would. Though, I do hope your inspirations do not take your heart from this place.
No, never. I could only lament, even in the most splendid of places, if I were ever disconnected from my beloved Switzerland, as well as my countrymen.
And Elizabeth? Her disposition has been sweet and affectionate towards you. Do you see her as more than a sister? If we raised her as such, it is only because of our love and affection for her. Considering her as your future wife has always been a design of mine. To bind you two as closely as possible to the ties of domestic love has always been my desire.
A design I never had reason to repent.
The carriage is approaching, madam.
Thank you, Justine. Have you seen William?
I believe he is in the garden. I will go fetch him.
Thank you.
I suppose that means I'll be off soon.
You sound troubled.
I want to go. I am eager to go, but I shall miss you.
Your departure saddens us all, but take heart. Ride often and keep your wits about you.
Your wisdom and gentleness far exceeds the task before you.
Oh.
Be obedient, little man, and forget not to imagine worlds unknown.
Aye, aye, Captain. He will be in the best and most devoted of hands.
Of your care, Justine, we are all assured. Henry, how nice of you to consider me as I depart. I see the tavern's got the best of you.
Oh, why would not miss this for the world? And why should the days only be open to us and not the nights?
I shall miss your satire. Your company these last years have given me such joy, to say nothing of my childhood, whose sweetness I attribute to you.
Oh, well, when one associates with the well-to-do, the hours are well spent. How else am I to meet prospective business opportunities with loosened purse strings?
Time can develop a discrepancy in friendship, but a more jovial friend I know of no other.
My father wishes me to say this practice, but it's my secret desire to accompany you on your journey abroad. I will think of you with thankfulness, never sorrow, as I always have.
My sweet, perfect Elizabeth.
Write me often. I trust you will be my faithful correspondent and keep our dialogue.
Trust well. A song that plays for us, so sweet and perfect. Goodbye, family. Geneva. Mr. Krempa.
Professor Krempa of Natural Philosophy and Superintendent of this university. And who might you be?
Victor Frankenstein, sir, of Geneva.
Frankenstein. The name seems familiar. Perhaps I knew your father. Alphonse, yes, the mind remembers everything, you know. It's simply a matter of recollection. Good man, your father, how is he?
Dead.
My condolences. I remember Alphonse, a dedicated student who staked his intellect not on what he regarded as truth, but by what he thought of as pure nonsense. A similar distinction I hope you bring to this university. And what manner of study do you seek?
The study of natural philosophy, sir, and chemistry.
Chemistry, eh? Well, I would advise the wise chemist to study all the branches of natural philosophy, including mathematics. What authors have you primarily read on the subject?
Cornelius Agrippa, primarily. Claude Frollo, Paracelsus.
Claude Frollo. Paracelsus. Have you really spent so much time on such nonsense? Every minute, every instant that you have wasted on these books have been utterly and entirely lost.
But
you have burdened your mind with exploded systems and useless names. Good God! In what desert land did you live where no one was kind enough to inform you of these 1,000-year-old fancies? I little expected in this enlightened age to find a disciple of Paracelsus. Ah, my good sir, you must begin your studies entirely anew.
Surely, Professor, these ancients had an indefatigable zeal that you cannot deny gave rise to the very curiosity that spurs every great discovery.
You must turn your head from such nonsense and focus henceforth on the practicalities, the physical laws of nature and reality. These ancient alchemists and occultists promised impossibilities and performed nothing. Science promises nothing but to reveal to us the truth that God has set for us to discover.
Pardon me, but even divine providence must act not randomly, but in accordance to fixed principles. And is it not our duty as men of learning to discover those causalities? Is there any pattern or law unfathomable to man? Inasmuch should we not go to any means whatever necessary of discovery, be them philosophical or fantastical?
Philosophy, bound by natural and divine law, is all that we will study at this university. The acquisition of genuine knowledge requires a dogmatic, pragmatic examination. Here, you have to familiarize yourself with these relevant new methods, as well as the advances made in chemistry. Additionally, I shall be in my office every Tuesday and Thursday.
My dearest cousin, I write you exactly 1 month since my arrival at Ingolstadt. Forgive my long silence. This past month has been that of scientific wonder and fascination. Through ardent study, I became the forefront of the studies of natural philosophy. This, of course, to be the wonderment and fascination of the students and philosophers. I secured a comfortable living quarter, a small apartment that connects to a rather large workspace. It's clean and a peaceful place, aside from the incessant barking of stray dogs. It should be perfect for isolation and study. My mind and soul are alive with the new prospects of discovery. Most of the instructors here are kind and knowledgeable. One in particular, Professor Krempa, has quite a bit of practical knowledge. Though he can be rather gruff and pedantic, he has done quite a bit in providing me with a sound foundation of authors and methodologies I once thought irrelevant. Never in my life have I been so surrounded by such a quest for knowledge. Truly, this place can satisfy all of my desires. Save one. I want the family to know that I am well. And I hope Mother and Brother William are favoring so also. And my dear Elizabeth, you can always be assured of my fidelity and affection. Victor.
Ah, Frankenstein. I thought I would find you here.
Yeah, I was just preoccupied with my work is all.
Sorry for startling you. I did not intend to do that. Your lecture and participation, for that matter, on arterial redirection truly inspired and delighted me. Stimulating to all who attended, doubtless.
Thank you. Did you get any use out of that Albertus magnet you borrowed?
Little practical application, to be sure. But I do see from whence Aquinas' inspiration must have come. There was some truth buried in all of that, however deep.
Is there something else you needed?
Oh, nothing then. I brought those books you requested. This one, Prometheus Bound. Not your usual request, which means you selected it either for relaxation or... Someone suggested it to you?
I have quite a bit of work, really.
Just a moment, I intend to divine this mystery. So, who suggested the read? I pray a member of the opposite sex. Please confess you met someone.
Professor, if that's all.
Yes, well, I should probably be off. Here you are, then. You will call on me sometime next week for luncheon, won't you?
My darling Elizabeth, this past year has been that of scientific wonder and fascination. I once again emerged at the forefront of natural philosophy. Of course, to the wonderment of the students and professors. I have even contributed to the field of chemistry and made great improvement amongst the various scientific instrumentation. Never in my life have I been so surrounded by such a new prospect of discovery. Surely none but those who have experienced them can conceive of the enticements of science. The stars often disappear into the light of the morning as I busy myself with my work. I've recently directed my focus towards the science of anatomy. And there are creatures that, when severed from their original organs and appendages, continue to thrive and live. Can you imagine such a thing? I shall now relate to you an event that happened not this past week. And my dear Elizabeth, I say this not to frighten you, but to inspire hope. A little girl fell into the river that runs just north of town. When pulled from the water, her respiration had totally ceased. Professor Krempa then performed a type of resuscitation on her, and she yet lives. What mystery could science not reveal if given the right amount of persistence and refusal of cowardice or carelessness blockading the way?
How I wish you could share in my experience. Please write to me soon. Let me know how Mother is and if her health has improved. Is Henry also well? Despite the brevity of this letter, I think of everyone constantly. I can hardly wait to see you again. With deep affection, your cousin Victor.
With deep affection, he says?
I'm sure the meaning was genuine.
Yes, but could he not say love?
Would you have him send trumpeters? You have not felt this anxiety before.
He's never been away for so long. You know how men are drawn primarily to the unfamiliar novelties of life.
Perhaps, but not Victor. I saw how you two were before he left. Romantic, yes.
Yes, but before, when he was here, we could be holding each other's eyes. And I could certainly observe his interactions with other people.
You will soon go mad thinking this way. Victor is a man, but he's a good man. He is driven by his duty and his love for you.
Thank you. I appreciate the sentiment, but I cannot help but ponder upon the new object of Victor's attention.
Having now studied anatomy with persistence and ardor, I realize it is insufficient. To examine the cause of life, one must first have recourse of death. I must therefore also examine the natural decay of the body, and in time renew life where death had otherwise devoted the body to corruption. Test subject was healthy and otherwise free of any disease or malformation. It is for the good of man. For the ones we love, we can make a difference. Experiment concluded. Reanimation was a failure. The corruption of death succeeded. I was so close! I could feel it. Heat, electricity. My eagerness remains undaunted. I shall succeed where men of distinction have previously failed. Could I alone be the discoverer of such an astounding secret? I yet arrive at the resolution of my toils. My work has finally come to fruition.
For the last time, Elizabeth, you may not accompany me.
Victor means as much to me as he does to you.
You have responsibilities that need tended to here.
My responsibilities are not as much as all that. Do not think you can push me aside so easily, Henry. Not when I know full well you are neglecting responsibilities of your own.
Someone has to ensure Victor's continued health.
Is that not something I should be a part of?
Elizabeth, Mother is ill. She is taken to her bed and she requests to see you.
Go on then. Clearly your duties call you home.
Wait. Tell Victor he must write me immediately. It has been months, Clairville.
You have my word. I will insist on his speediest correspondence the moment I find him and have assurance he's in good health.
After 2 months of incredible labor and fatigue, I succeeded in bestowing animation upon lifeless matter. More, I became capable of creating.
Ah, Victor. I thought I would find you here. The new students were disappointed not to hear your lecture in physiology.
Thank you. And I apologize.
And who could believe that a Genovese would emerge so eminently in his field? Of course, your proficiency hardly astounds me, considering all the time you spend in this darkened room. Here are those books you requested.
Can you place them on the table?
Yes.
I'll have those surgical texts I borrowed returned to you by week's end.
Yes.
So astonishing is the power placed in my hands. Indeed, I now hold the capacity to achieve animation, yet to prepare a frame for the reception of it with all its intricacies of muscles, fibers, and veins would be a work of inconceivable difficulty and labor. I shall bestow life in a creature as marvelous and complex as man. I have no doubt that the world will forever be changed due to the agonizing and strenuous progress I did make these past few nights. Together, we shall undo life's greatest tragedy, death. Such a permanent, horrible stigma. Seems but such a small thing to me now. All of human potential will soon be realized. Destruction of the fourth vertebra results in complete paralysis. My zeal is unrelenting. I will not deviate. I will not rest until the veil of darkness has been fully lifted and we have procured for the world the light and knowledge of heaven and earth. My dreams will become reality. Light will meet dark. I will save you all. My comforts and health are insignificant items. My family. Elizabeth. Nay, I must put my own selfishness and vacillations aside for the betterment of mankind. Together. I did attempt, my dear Adam, to provide for you all the wondrous anatomy that compiles a frame as beautiful as man. I struggled to keep the necessary tissue alive, alas. I preserved your flesh with the appropriate mixtures, but indeed, you are deformed. As the available raw materials in my own uneasy hand has dictated, time was the most important factor. Your appearance notwithstanding, you will learn to speak and to love and to feel, and thoughtful men will open their hearts to you. You will be an object of truth and hope, that the wonderment of all your existence will provide the transience of death. It will provide the furtherance of this science. And in return for the hope you provide mankind, you will bless me as your creator. No father could possibly claim the gratitude of his son so completely as I will deserve yours. Were God forbade knowledge, we shall bestow it on mankind. Live! Come, my Adam, live! We need more
More power! No! No! Please, no! Tell me what I must do! How far I must go! Oh, great God! How I perverted this world! Demonic corpse! What breathless, miserable horror! No! No! What ghastly, unholy filth! Fixed in my thoughts and working at my heart, an image of you still endures. Dear, good Father, when by hour as you were in the world, you taught me how a man becomes eternal. Dreams that have been my pleasant rest and food. For so long, a space have now become a nightmarish hell to me.
Oh, my dear Frankenstein, how glad I am to see you. And how fortunate that you should be here at the moment of my arrival.
Nothing could equal my delight in seeing you. How have you come to be here? And why didn't you mention anything in letter?
You should check your letters more regularly. I mentioned it twice in those addressed to you. Doubtless, Elizabeth, many more than that. When they learned of my trip here, they would not let me leave in peace. My father was another story altogether. You well know my love of language, Victor, and what a boundless opportunity I should have to study here. At length he relented, mostly out of love and devotion to me, though he kept on about how he earns tens of thousands of florins a year without grief.
And how do you leave my family? Well and happy, I hope.
Yes, happy and well, though I must admit my concern at the moment, Victor. How ill you look. So pale and weak. And your hair, you look as though you have not rested your head for several nights.
Indeed, I have not given myself adequate rest and relaxation. Such is the grip my feverish work had on my mind, but at length, dear Henry, I am free.
Yes, we are free, and I have you to be my personal guide through the campus. You know well how I am drawn primarily to the strange and unfamiliar novelties of life. First, we will go to your apartment, where you can change, and then we'll be two young gentlemen about Ingolstadt. What say you, Victor?
My apartment?
Yes, what has come over you? Elizabeth pleaded with me originally.
Elizabeth, you didn't bring her here, did you? Where is she?
Calm yourself, she's in Geneva with your kin. And for that I'm thankful, given the state of you.
Geneva.
Is this it then? Dr. Frankenstein? I bet the ladies go for that.
Hey, wait!
What?
Friend.
Why?
I must precede you. My apartment is in a terrible state. I must quickly tidy up.
Really, that's not necessary.
I must insist. I'll alert you in a moment. Henry, come.
Oh, thank you. I must admit, Victor, my studies of Greek and Latin are well enough in Geneva, but it is in this place that I can truly explore the finer pleasures of life, things that better appeal to the senses.
I should think there is more to the reality of this world than that which pleases the senses.
That is not to say that is the only cause for action. There is, of course, avoiding that which causes pain and despair. Again, sir, I must implore, what is the cause of this behavior? How ill you are.
Stand back! I hear something.
Wait, Victor, wait, friend.
How I must have frightened you.
Oh, I see your senses have returned. It is a beautiful and salubrious spring, though I must admit I found you quite mad with your ravings of demons and monsters, though I'm happy to see your spirits have returned.
Yeah, my fever and delirium, as it were, have disappeared, in no small part to your care. What disappointment you must have felt upon arriving. Can I ever repay you?
Oh, you will repay me in entirety if you do not discompose yourself, but get better as swiftly as possible. And since your spirits seem to have returned, I may speak to you on one subject, may I not? Calm yourself. If it agitates you, I won't mention it. But your mother and cousin would be very happy to receive a letter from you in your own handwriting. They hardly know the extent of your illness and grow uneasy at your long silence.
That's it? That's all then? They occupy the forefront of my mind.
Excellent. Then if you are up for it, this letter has been here for a while for you now.
My dear cousin, I cannot describe to you the uneasiness that we have all felt concerning your health and long absence from us, both in word and in person. I think that Clerval conceals the extent of your affliction, for your letters are always dictated through him, and it has been months since we've seen your own handwriting. Your mother believes you to be dangerously ill, and I now have guilt for allowing Clerval to convince me to remain here. Victor, we're all very miserable on this account. And if you should write us and relieve us of these anxieties, we shall be the happiest creatures in the world. Your mother's health is stable, and other than her concern for you, she is well. Dear William has grown so tall since you've been away. With his sweet, laughing brown eyes and curly brown hair, he's already found himself one or two little wives, his favorite being Louise Byron, a pretty little girl of 10 years of age. He grows more inquisitive every day and is always asking endless questions pertaining to everything. How like you he has become. He does enjoy books as his imagination is strong and we have endless fun at play acting. I do remind him that creativity precedes all great achievement. He has all of your endearing qualities. Alas, your stubbornness. I have written myself into better spirits, but I miss you terribly. I wonder if now you're thinking of me? I cannot conclude without, again, anxiously inquiring concerning your health. Dear Victor, if you are not very ill, then please, write yourself. Make your mother and all of us very happy. I can barely think of the other side of the question. My tears already flow. Adieu. Elizabeth Wilkinson.
I must write them and relieve them of their anxieties at once.
Steady yourself. You must give yourself time to recover your strength.
Come now, my papers.
I can tell by your reaction that your instrumentation causes you discomfort. I'll put these things away.
Damn the fellow! I tell you, Clerval, he has outdone us all! And can we believe he came here a few short years ago, a student who firmly believed in the fundamentals of alchemy as firmly as gospel. We now see him perched on the edge of discovery, spearheading the university, inspiring young minds, changing the world forever. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you still ill?
He's quite recovered.
Oh, delightful. He's even made much improvements on various scientific instrumentation.
Now, please, Professor.
Ah, Frankenstein is modest. An excellent quality in a young man. Young men ought to be indifferent to themselves, Clerval. I myself was that way once in my youth, but that wears out in a very short time. Gentlemen.
I forgot to mention, you received a letter from your mother today.
My mother.
Yes, I meant to mention it earlier, but I was distracted by my encounter with your lovely neighbor, whose beauty and simplicity reminds me of that of Rubens. while likewise leaving the appraiser uncertain of its artistic origin.
My dear Henry, you have an uncanny ability to translate simplicity into magnificence.
Oh, perhaps it is the simple things in their variety which quantifies existence.
You forget the qualities inherent in every culture, similarities of truth and ideals.
Oh, there are 1,000 languages and therefore 1,000 ways to say virtue. Do you each suppose each have equal merit? My dear Frankenstein, are you always to be unhappy?
My dearest Victor, I don't doubt that you have waited for a letter to fix the date of your arrival at Geneva. And I was at first tempted to write a short letter pertaining to just that. But that would have been a cruel kindness. For when you arrived at Geneva, you could expect a happy greeting, and instead you would be met with utter wretchedness. Victor, how can I relate our misfortunes to you? Absence could not have rendered you callous to our joys and griefs, but how can I inflict pain upon an absent child? I wish to prepare you for the woeful news, but I know it is impossible. I mean, even now, your eyes skim the page to seek the words which will convey to you the horrible tiding. William is dead. Oh, that sweet child whose smile warmed and delighted my heart, who was so gentle and so gay. Victor, he is murdered. I will not attempt to console you. I will instead just relay the circumstances of the event. Last Thursday, Justine, William, Elizabeth, and myself were all walking in the Palais Palais. It was a warm and pleasant evening, and dusk had settled in before we decided to head home. We noticed at once that little Justine and William were missing, so naturally we decided to wait for them, and Justine came back, but not William. We inquired as to his whereabouts, and Justine replied that he had gone out hiding and had not yet returned. We searched for him everywhere, and it was not until nightfall that Elizabeth suggested we head back to the house, and we looked for him there. But upon returning to the house and noting his absence, we went back to the woods, this time with torches. I became more upset as I thought about my littlest darling lost in the woods, subjected to the cold, damp night and invisible creatures. Elizabeth was likewise frantic. It was not until 5 in the morning that we discovered the body of little William, stretched in the grass, livid and motionless. His small frame relieved of the jubilant life that lived there just hours ago. He had bruises about his throat. Poor William was brought back home, and the anguish that was clear in my countenance betrayed the secret to Elizabeth, bringing her to hysterics. Even with the help of our Lord, a mother could hardly be expected to compose herself with such tragedy, and Elizabeth, who is as soft and kind to William as even myself, is wretched about it. Victor, she blames herself. I tried at first to prevent her from entering the room where William lay, but to no avail. And she hastily examined the victim's neck and exclaimed, "Oh God, I have murdered my darling infant!" She fainted to the fear and despair of us all. When she at last recovered, she continued to weep, telling us on that same evening William had begged her to let him borrow a very valuable miniature that she possessed of her likeness. And realizing that was the temptation of the murderer's deed, she's inconsolable. The entire household and its staff, everyone searches for the murderer, but even his conviction will not bring back my William. Come home, dear Victor. You alone must console Elizabeth. She weeps and unjustly blames herself. Her words pierce my heart. Alas, Victor, that your father was taken from us so prematurely is now a blessing, as he did not have to witness the loss of his youngest and most beloved darling. It was God's command that William serve as an angel, but I weep. Come home, dear Victor. But bring not vengeful thoughts for the assassin, and instead love and condolences for us, your afflicted and affectionate mother.
I have no consolation. Your loss is irreparable. What do you intend to do?
To leave for Geneva instantly, to relieve my family. Come with me, Henry.
Do you think you have a suspect?
There's no mention of one.
Victor, this letter is weeks old. If they haven't apprehended someone by now, the chances of catching them shrink daily.
I know. Let's hurry on.
We weep and we mourn, but he is at rest. He no longer feels the murderer's grasp. He knows no pain. He can scarcely be a fitting subject for pity. The survivors are the greatest sufferers, and for them, time is the only consolation. It's getting dark. Perhaps we should make camp.
Will you get some wood? I will tend to the camp. Do not be long. I should hasten my travels for the elevation of my family's grief, but I can hardly bear the thought of their melancholy. Oh, mountains. My own beautiful lake. This is how you welcome your native child? With lakes and skies so blue and placid, and summits so clear? Does this beauty exist to mock me in my grief, or to merely prognosticate the peace? William, dear sweet angel of heaven, how unfair to have such a beautiful life, but to such a horrible end. What madness is there in this world? Our William murdered.
Oh, my dearest Victor. Oh, by the will of God, you've been brought to us safe and sound. But I am sad that you must be welcomed into our house with tears instead of joy.
Do not welcome me thus. I yet reserve joy for this occasion. But tell me, how do you support our misfortune, and how is my poor Elizabeth?
She requires consolation that only your gentle caress can provide. Victor, she blames herself. She insists she is the cause of William's death, even though the murderer has been apprehended.
Apprehended? God, who could outrun him? How could this be? Who could overpower such a monster?
I do not know what you mean. She has been detained.
Elizabeth! She?
Or Justine. She's been accused.
But surely no one believes that. It is madness.
Justine is innocent. I know she is. I had hoped that when you had returned, you could furnish proof as to her innocence.
No one wanted to believe it, Victor, but certain evidence has surfaced recently that is shedding doubt on her story. The night of William's murder, she was found asleep near where the deed was committed. She claimed incredible fatigue. The following day, a servant girl found the locket that Elizabeth had given William tucked away in the folds of Justine's dress, and the servant girl went directly to the authorities.
You are all mistaken. Poor Justine, she is gentle and innocent. I know the murderer.
And so do we, unfortunately. For I would rather have remained forever ignorant than to discover such depravity and ingratitude in someone I so highly valued.
I know your ground has been shaken, but it seems another disturbance is upon you.
It is nothing. How am I to tell you? The ways of man have shaken me to my core.
I know my dear Justine is innocent. I know her heart. She is incapable of such treachery. Please, come with me and we shall keep a vigil over Justine.
Do you believe me so very wicked? Do you also join with my enemies to crush me?
Rise, my poor girl. I'm not one of your enemies. I believe you guiltless. Nothing for a moment shall shake my confidence in you, save your own confession. Do not mourn. I will everywhere proclaim your innocence and force belief.
Please forgive me, sister.
Why do you ask my forgiveness?
I confess to William's murder.
Impossible. I know you did not commit the deed. You know, as well as I, Elizabeth would deny you no trinket you coveted.
I do not know how the locket came to be on my person, but all I know is that they asked me to confess that I might obtain absolution. I know that falsehood lies heavier on my heart than all my other sins. I had none to support me. What else could I do but confess?
You have to speak to the magistrate.
Who would believe me?
You could give testimony to Justine's character.
I will try.
Your consideration holds much weight on my soul, but the evidence has arranged my condemnation, my confession notwithstanding. It is too late. Tomorrow I will die. Rise, my poor girl. Do not weep. You ought to raise me with thoughts of a better life and elevate me from the world of injustice and strife. Sometimes in this darkened cell, I view myself the monster they exclaim of me.
I can hardly endure this misfortune.
I am truly sorry. I will petition the magistrate.
To what end? You were away from Geneva the night our darling was murdered. What testimony could you offer for my acquittal? At these last moments, I feel the sincerest gratitude toward those who look upon me with affection. How sweet is the love of others for a wretch such as myself. I feel I can leave this world now that my innocence is acknowledged, at least by the ones I love.
Come, Elizabeth.
My mind still refuses to accept the gruesome happenings my eyes just witnessed.
I think we've sulked quite enough. Now it is time for us to go outside and enjoy what's left of the evening. Madam?
It is too hot a summer day.
Nonsense, it's perfectly enjoyable weather.
Perhaps you're right. I could use some fresh air.
Victor, join us. Take your mind off everything that has happened.
Thank you, but no, I think I shall stay here.
You're quite sure? Are you quite all right?
Oh, absolutely. I really think I should just catch up on some reading.
Suit yourself. Ladies?
Solitude is now my only consolation. Deep, dark, death-like solitude. Devil! You dare approach me? I who am bound by the firmest loyalty to wreak vengeance upon thy miserable form.
This anger I expected. All men hate the wretched.
What hellish trick? I hear the demon can speak.
How am I detested when I am as alone and miserable as all living things?
Come, and I will extinguish the spark I so negligently bestowed.
You condemn me! I could have been your Adam, and you treat me like a fallen angel!
Servants created in his heavenly likeness. All the nightmares of Dante's hell are scarcely punishment enough for your abhorred and devilish ways.
You dodged my inquiry.
I will hear none of this.
I shall have my satisfaction. Even Lucifer had his companions and admirers in exile. But I'm detested beyond even that. My Creator damns me to a life of hell. But I can be virtuous. I can be your devoted creature if you but do the service you owe me.
There can be no community between you and me. We are enemies! Your words mean nothing, and I curse the day you first saw life.
Then you do me a disservice. For when I first came to being, I was benevolent and innocent. When the sun first cut across my face, my heart glowed with humanity. Misery made me a fiend.
A murderer!
You accuse me of murder when you would so rarely rip apart this form you have made more supple and strong than any man. What miserable justice is humankind? What horrible longing and anger you instilled into my heart! You will listen to my story, and you will retain it. What I will so fiendishly crave. And I can assure you, it can be easily sated. But if you refuse, then I will release my rage upon your kin.
What would you have of me?
You will see. Listen to my story, and I can show you how I came to be. I can show you how it is only I who can demand retribution from his creator. It is with considerable difficulty that I remember the original era of my existence. I experience hearing and sight, taste and touch, without the basic tenderness and compassions that come with all new life. Curiosity was drawn upon me, and I enjoyed these new senses. But I soon came to understand that hunger overtook those curiosities, and I went to the forest. I came upon beggars huddling around a brilliant fire. I could see the joy and the warmth that the fire provided them. As I went towards them, however, they ran in terror. Though the departure saddened me, the fire allured me. It so happily crackled, seeming to enjoy the air around it. In my excitement, I threw my hand into this light ember and had to pull it back in pain. I found it very interesting how the same effect could give such different causes. As I woke the next morning, however, the hunger in me was truly alive. I soon came to understand that roots and berries could provide this body with nourishment. Later that day, however, the skies opened up and let loose a brilliant white sheet. This cold web substance chilled my feet. But thanks to you, I had the ability not to think nor speak. And because of this, I was unable to recreate the fire that had so warmed me that first night. So I wandered in that forest until I came upon a cottage containing 2 men and a girl. I soon came to understand that these cottagers, an old blind man named DeLacy, and his children Felix and Agatha. Every night, they would enjoy a dinner together, and the old man would play his flute for them. They seemed like heavenly bodies to me, and I intended to observe them for some time.
Felix, it is growing cold. Could you add some wood to the fire? How about you both settle in and I will play a tune for you?
Though I could not speak, I was able to learn from them by studying their actions and the countenance of them. What chance had I, a hideous creature of longing and sacrifice? I viewed myself as an inferior species to man. The godlike form and spirit of mine I wished to achieve. They possessed a delightful home, fine clothes, and a warm fire. And more importantly, they seemed to enjoy each other's company and the interactions of their speech. I soon came to understand it was often hunger and poverty that attributed to their sadness. And I felt for their sadness as I felt for my own. I longed to help them.
Where are you off to? We have used up all the wood near the cottage. I'm having to go halfway around the lake. I will try to get back before dark. Father, I am here.
He heard a noise outside.
All I found was this firewood, but how did it end up here?
Perhaps a kind benefactor?
For the first time, I was perceived by another, and I was given a name. I saw them as the procurers of my salvation. Though they did not witness my deeds, I contended to observe this for some time. Over time, I was lucky enough to be able to observe Agatha's reading assignments. And by that, I also learned to read and speak. Cottage, Germany, autumn, spring. As my proficiency in their language increased, so too did my desire to be known by them. In my mind, I imagined 1,000 images of presenting myself to them and their reaction. At first, they would be disgusted, but thanks to my conciliating words and my kind resolution, I could first win their favor and then their love. As I excelled quickly in literacy, stories of great men taught me of hope and imagination, while their wicked acts, I was able to read works from Milton and Plutarch. By reading them, I learned how this world was. My mind was enriched, saturated with new ideas of civic honor, justice, and duty, while also learning, sadly, for the first time about hate, bigotry, and revenge. I was unable not to see how treacherous ways could give you powers over the just. After learning of these improbabilities of my colleges ever truly beloving me, I nearly gave up. That wasn't until I remembered I had one chance. The old blind man, for you see, his ability not to see, he could not see me as the wretch I was. I could slowly integrate myself into him and win his favor. I imagined of this creature giving me sympathy and care. But for now, I was alone. For now, I had nothing.
We should take what little money we have and go to the market.
Can I go too?
I have my music to keep me company. Who's there? Come in.
Good sir, I'm a traveler seeking only warmth and companionship.
Enter, and I will try to oblige and relieve you of your wants, but unfortunately my children have just left and I am unable to procure food for you.
That is fine, sir. I do not need food. I only need company and warmth.
By your language, stranger, I can tell you are countrymen. Are you French?
No, I am but a traveler. I am off to go see friends whom I truly love and care for. They do not know nothing of my abhorrent looks. You see, man only sees a monster.
Do not despair. For if you truly are good, it will be obvious to them, and they shall accept you without prejudice. Ah, here come my children's now.
Sir, this is the moment now. You and your family, you're the ones who I seek companionship for. Please do not leave me in this moment. Oh, great God! Cursed Creator, why did I live? Did my feelings, nay, did my thoughts even exist if I had no one to share them with or sympathize with? These feelings I felt were unconsolable, my pain unbearable. See, these feelings only could relent when I replaced them with hot, enduring hate. I soon came to think of my immature and quick anger towards them. So I went back to their cottage to find it utterly deserted. I searched that forest for them and found nothing. At that moment, my humanity melted. I have always fought against fate and beaten her. Even in exile, I played the man. But now, I threw up my hands.
Cicero, where did you acquire books?
Unfeeling, heartless creator, you instilled me with the passions and perceptions and then cast me aside, an object forsworn in the horrors of man. My anger fed my desire to search you out. I now had a godlike gift for literacy, and I possessed your journal, which told me of your whereabouts. I came to Geneva after weeks of travel and witnessed you for some time. That's when I encountered young William. You see, in my mind, I thought I could teach William to love me. He was innocent to the ways of man and was not prejudiced to the abhorrent looks of humans. Look of me. As I knelt in front of this young boy, though, I saw a locket around his neck. The image of you and your beloved Elizabeth. Her image softened me and gave me feelings. For her dark eyes fringed in dark lashes. But soon my anger returned when I remembered I was forever forsaken of compassion from such beautiful creatures. So in my anger, I wrapped my hands around that child's throat. Moments later, however, he lay dead at my feet.
Monster! You would lay the innocent to waste!
I too can destroy.
This ability creates a parallel to Satan's.
When has man ever had any lack of wickedness or vanity?
Come, and I will extinguish the spark I so negligently bestowed.
What about Justine?
Enough of this. It was you who put the locket on Justine.
Of course, I wanted her to feel the pain and sorrow that has been my only companion in life. That is why you must make for me a female of my likeness. Someone as wretched as me would have no choice but to show me sympathy. If you do this one act, though, I can promise you this. I will leave with her, and we will never return to the land of the man.
One day, you would each return, seeking again the kindness of man, only to be rejected again.
You refuse me, now knowing that this one act, this one single act, can render me completely harmless. Your countenance betrays you, for I know at one time you had sympathy for the wrongs you committed. I know at one time you regretted leaving me. But I will give you this. If you refuse to, I will just glut my anger on your remaining family.
I consent only on your assurance that you leave this world with your wicked mistress never resurfacing as long as you live. Elizabeth! We must flee this evil! Elizabeth!
Soaked in blood, this mask you wear, you cannot escape your misery. Don't you love me anymore?
Victor, is something the matter?
You look as though you saw a Gorgon.
What is it?
Nothing. Everything is all right. I am afraid I must return to finish my incomplete work. I must begin at once and do so with minimal distractions. I shall be in my study for the rest of the evening.
Hey.
Victor, this is madness. You've been in here for days. Let us go outside, drink some wine.
Thank you. No, perhaps next week.
Next week? Victor, you are upsetting the house. Please stop this, or at least give us reason.
I said, go away.
Your family needs you. Your friends need you. Do not abandon us.
What need have I for friends that they are constant irritants to me? I want nothing to do with you. Be gone!
Good day, sir.
How else can I make this clear to you?
It is I.
What do you want?
What do I... May I come in? Tell me what you're working on.
No.
Why are you doing this?
I can do as I please. It's my house, isn't it?
Well... Why did you make Henry leave? You don't have to grieve alone. We love you. I love you.
Can I not even trust in you to keep my privacy?
Whatever it is, you can tell me. We'll be all right.
This isn't some childish storybook. People make mistakes. People die. The world is full of an unspeakable horror. Maybe you should adopt more grown-up and rational sensibilities.
Rational sensibilities? Such things you would say to me. You can't do this alone. You need people you love. If you truly love me, then come be with me. And if you won't have it so, then please just tell me and I will leave you at once. Victor!
Your obsession with me was endearing once. Now I've grown weary of your constant fawning. Disturb me not, and then leave already! It's better she not know. Mother,
You cannot escape this misery.
what did you say?
You cannot hold on to this misery.
I cannot let go of this misery until I've made things right.
So what you doing here day and night? You have only to make things right with God, Victor. The rest is ineffectual.
But our William, our own Justine, our father, mother, tell me it is not for nothing that we can make a difference.
There is nothing for us to do but to silently follow God's will. We cannot change it, my darling. Those that we have lost died with God's words in their hearts. And all the miseries of life, they just amount to a brief moment in time in parallel to eternity with God and the ones we love.
To say nothing of our own free will.
Oh, free will is an illusion. A phantom that allows us to fill our hearts with wickedness and selfishness. God has a time and a plan for us all. We must accept His wisdom and love.
Will you pray for my mercy?
Oh, no second death can do them harm. Praise and bless our Lord, and give Him thanks, and serve Him with great humility.
Amen. Am I to form a being as wicked as he who so devilishly harasses me thus? Maybe she'll be 1,000 times as wicked as her mate, and for its own sake spread malignant hate. And if they bore children, I shudder at the hideous thought. What right have I to inflict this upon future generations? How blind I have been!
You destroy your work, slave? You dare break your promise to me? You dare take away my one chance, my hope for salvation? Does everyone in this world deserve love and affection, but I
cannot unleash into the world a creature who so delights in death and wickedness. I do recant my promise. Now be gone!
You may be my creator, but I am your master. You will start again.
No amount of torment will give you my consent. Leave.
You deny me with keen intellect and a clear resolution. You will start again, where you see the ones you love fight for their life in my grasps, and you will remember that you will never see your wedding night.
Villain! Before you submit to mauling me, be sure you yourself are safe!
Where? What? Oh, Victor, it's about time you recovered.
Professor, am I in Ingolstadt? Is this
A dream?
Yes.
Heavens, no! And on that account, I am sorry. You were found last night in Geneva. It seems you hit your head rather hard. Do you know your name?
Frankenstein.
I've been working at the university here as a favor to a dear colleague. Thus, I easily learned of your mishaps last night. Do you know what month it is?
It's November. I'm fine.
When I heard your name come up as the first accused, I was deeply stunned, and so I came at once to clear your name of this lunacy.
The creature. I should have known he would take his revenge.
I wish that were all, but there's more.
His cold and heartless demeanor will not sway me.
Wait, you know who the murderer is?
I, the murderer of my brother.
Then, you know?
No what? Who is the victim, Krempa? Out with it!
People are starting to a very obvious connection between the two victims, which is why I came to verify your account in Ingolstadt when the first murder took place.
What connection? You are all mistaken.
Victor, wait!
Who is under that sheet? No. No, God, please, no. Not Henry! Please. This is all my fault. Will you forgive me?
Do you need me to stay a while?
No, you've done enough.
At least allow me to see you home. I know that you've been through a lot, but do not lose hope. I am sure of Henry's friendship towards you. Don't let your parting words be all that you remember. You must look to the ones you love who are yet here. Take nothing for granted. We must remember that we are mortal. We must bear what has happened and again put fortune to the test.
You've been a good friend. Elizabeth, I am so sorry. Please forgive me. I love you.
Oh, your love means everything to me. If there are things, for whatever reason, that you cannot reveal to me, then I will learn to live with it. The thought of losing you terrifies me, and I do not delude myself on conjuring scenes of grandeur and assume I understand the workings of your mind or the contents of your heart. I seek only to be a part of them. Unless there's another.
No, never. Indeed, my heart is shaken in fear, and my body aches, but you, my sweet Elizabeth, are the only part of my being that still exists. What is it?
Mother is very ill. The doctor says the combined shock of our family's tragedies has deeply shaken her already wavering health. She's dying.
Mother.
Victor, I was so worried.
No need. I'm here now.
It is the will of God that I must leave you. Everything has its purpose, and even now I still have hopes of a union between the two of you.
But even now, what is hope if fate is so irreversibly determined?
Hope is what drives our ingenuity. What joy could we derive from a life without an idea that there is a happiness in our future? Our revelation should ripen under sustenance and meaning.
Even now, you must look to the future. Don't walk out on an opportunity to be happy again. You must not shut her out, or you will be forever alone. The two of you are all that remains of our family. You need each other. Even with the loss we have endured, there can be solace in your union. And I can pass with a smile on my lips with that reconciliation.
With everything that has happened, my wounded spirit has little faith in its recovery. Prometheus must endure forever.
Even Prometheus had the Oceanids to sympathize with him.
Come away with me then. Let's leave Geneva forever.
Should we just run away together? No, I have no desire for that, and it wouldn't be decent.
Then marry me. Marry me at once. Don't you love me?
You know I do, but terrible wickedness has possessed you, Victor, and it frightens me. I cannot continue to endure such things if you keep these secrets.
Marry me, and on our wedding night, there will be no more secrets. Then we can face destiny together.
If that is what you dream, I wish it so. What is it that agitates you, my love? What is it you fear?
We are quite safe here, I assure you, but the night is dreadful. Very dreadful.
Safe from what? It's our wedding night. Why don't you rest?
I'll rest later, or never at all.
Then just be happy and content with me for the night. I can relieve you of your anxiety, and you can think only of me.
I am afraid little happiness remains for us here on earth, my darling.
How am I to live if all that remains for me is abject misery?
I can little imagine a bright and enlightened future wherein man exists with his base and revolting capabilities. How detestable and animal-like he is in his passions. How keen and innovative he is in his own destruction. How absent from his mind are the subtleties of... Elizabeth, what are you doing? Oh, my darling, why do you do this?
Just to see.
To see what?
If I exist.
You do!
Do I? Or maybe this is a dream. Maybe this is a dream I failed to wake up from. Maybe this pistol is my only escape. You were alone in the company that truly knew who I was. Only you occupied that place in my heart. Not truly alone.
You are not alone. Please, you have no idea what you are doing.
I am, and I do. Ever since you left for Ingolstadt, I've no one seen that look in your eyes. Why are you so blind as to how this affects me.
All.
I've been without conversation or friendship or will. You are not the only person who's lost everything.
You have not lost me.
You left me! In that abyss. Alone. Victor, I'm not strong. Why can't you hear music?
The birds that sing, I hear it too. The things you felt, I felt them too. I had to protect you.
Protect me from what?
My bitter anguish. I had to protect you from the seen and unseen. I had to conceal from you that I no longer see the world as the place we once knew.
Even your wretchedness becomes sacrosanct to my heart.
To say nothing of unimaginable horror.
Do you really think that there's a greater horror out there than right here, in this very room? You see the endless possibilities of our union before you. All we could mean to each other. Yet you turn your back on it. What evil could be more heartbreakingly terrible? And shall suffer forever if you do not reveal what has taken your heart so horribly from me.
No!
Why?
Because I deserve no sympathy, and redemption is forever lost to me.
So you just take yourself away from the world and seal yourself from even me? What sweet attribute that must be. A broken heart bleeds worse than a dead one. You promised me.
All that I ever can one day hope to enjoy is concentrated in you.
Why can't you step outside yourself and let your mind roam?
Please, Elizabeth, I'll explain all. Give me the pistol. Do you remember when I first left Geneva? So long ago in those years of old.
Yes.
If I would have known what would come to pass, I would have never left you. I became so engrossed with the study of natural philosophy, and soon with animating a lifeless creature, I became obsessed. For 2 years, I labored constantly to uncover the secret of life, that secret which can raise a man from the grave. I saw only the potential and beauty life inspired. But I infused a spark in a being, and when the monster, the abomination began to shake and move, I fled in fear and disgust. In my ignorance, I denied him what the most base creatures are entitled to. The monster pledged its vengeance upon me, unless I were to create an equally abhorrent mate. So, I have, in effect, led to the destruction of every person we love. Please, please forgive me. Say you love me. My very happiness depends on you looking on me as a good man.
And that is why we are here, and not in the countryside, so you can confront him.
Yes. Great God, how I've disturbed the sanctity of life!
All this time, you've lived with the pain of this magnitude. This is not your fault. I know there's always been good in your heart. Your actions were promulgated with only good intentions towards mankind. You are a good man. We do not have to run. You said that you consented to his demands on the promise that he would forever quit the world.
Yes.
Why don't we meet with him then? Propose the same conditions, and long before his pride were educated in the ways of wickedness, we would be far, far away from here. Having children of our own, we can learn to be happy.
How would I ever find him? He would so rip me apart before I could even speak.
Well, he's stopped us for all this time. He will not be hard to find. Victor, this is the only way. Please, please tell me you will consent. I understand if you won't.
I'll do it. For the preservation of our love, it is done. And You'll forgive me?
Oh, yes.
Lock these doors. I'll be back soon. I come forward for redemption for both our sakes. Reveal thyself, and I will content your heart with the happiness you seek.
You know why I come?
So you're Prometheus's flame. Then yes, I know why you're here. Loneliness fosters morbidity.
You look like an angel tonight.
Victor?
Elizabeth, open this door! Open this door immediately!
As you would be also, if you were not so hell-bent on destruction.
We are both images of our Creator's will and spirit of mind.
You judge all men to be evil, yet your path crosses few.
My heart once glowed to be a human. But once I saw what was in their hearts, I turned away with loathing and anger.
Every creature is responsible for the path they take. Do you really think you're the only one who's needed salvation from empty skies?
I am not like the rest. I do not fear, nor do I deny my true nature.
Open this door! No!
You are as wicked as all men, but I am capable of wickedness beyond even that. There is nothing left on this earth for you.
My Elizabeth has left this world, has gone forever. I once cursed only the monster, but now I despise the entire world. My innocent wife, in a world without you, there is no life at all. You, murderer, I will kill you!
Then turn the weapon upon yourself, the true author of your family's demise. But Father, there is nothing left to fear from me. We are equal. The blood-stained hue of the sky is forever gone.
I sought redress for both our sake, but you have poisoned the cup of life forever. Now, one of us must fall.
There's little more pain I can inflict upon you. Your family's torment fed my anger to its apex. We are of equal beings now. But if there's pain and suffering you do require, I will oblige. It will not last long, though.
My life has now but one purpose. I will extinguish the spark. I will negligently.
I am not weak, as feeble as I once was. I am more like a man, better than a god, more than you could ever be. How like Father I am in the end. I have traveled the world with a singular determination to extinguish that which has wronged me so totally and completely. In my tasks, I've endured every want of comfort. Fate could have scarcely designed a more miserable destiny. Alas, has there ever been a wretch such as myself?